Welcome back. We are heading back down to Laura at the Vitality Expo in the RDS now.
Laura, what's happening over there?
Thanks, Simon. I'm here all morning at Vitality, where hundreds of people are arriving now to take part in all things fitness, lifestyle and nutrition. Very excited about our next guest. Joining me now is a Hollywood spiritual healer of stars like Gwyneth Paltrow and Selma Blair, Shaymin Durek. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you for joining us on Weekend AM today.
Thank you. It's an honor.
We have so much to talk about, but let's start at the basics. What is Shamanism? Because I just called you Shaymin Durek there.
Yes, so basically Shamanism is based on the idea that we operate by helping people see the potential within their being. So every human being has an idea of who they are based on what their family upbringing was and what they learned in school and what they learned from their authority figures. But not every single thing they learn is right for them. So in shamanism, what we do is we look behind the scenes to see the truth of that person and help them develop an understanding of themselves and then how they can self-actualize themselves to be of service to this planet and to people through love. So the consciousness is about awakening consciousness in human beings.
I noticed there you just said shamanism. So is it shaman or shaman or both?
In America, it's shamanism. In Europe, it's shaman.
Okay. Would you see it as a gift? Because you are a sixth generation shaman. I'm going to go with how you pronounce it. You're sixth generation. So this has come from your family. Is it a gift? And if it is, when did you first realize that you had it?
Well, I don't really see my path as a gift, as more as a devotion. And I think that everyone has gifts. Everyone has the potential to step into shamanism the moment they decide to surrender their needs to fill up their vacuous void of I need in order to feel good to I want to just serve and love human beings. And so I think the understanding of that is what's held in the context of shamanism. But my family, my father, my grandmother, and all the lineages of my family have been shamans. And so I found out when I was about 5 years old. And when you're a kid, you see things and you just accept that's what it is. It was about 10 years old is when I started to realize that it was something different than what other kids had in school.
That's really interesting. I have a 6-year-old at home, and I would imagine like pretty much every 6-year-old in the world, it revolves around him. So there is no understanding of the greater being or to be remotely philosophical. Did that tear you apart from your peers when you were 10 and 11, the fact that you had, I suppose, a wider acknowledgement and respect for humans?
Absolutely. I wasn't invited to birthday parties. The different family members thought that, of my peers, thought that I was strange because I would see things and say things and it made them scared, And people in this world, anything that they don't understand, they just assume is evil. So as I got more developed and more older, then the family started opening up, being like, oh, I was so, we didn't really know, we didn't understand at that time. So I spent a lot of time in solitude. But in that time, I spent a lot of time communing with Spirit and God and just loving creation and seeing God in the flower and a tree and human beings. And the reverence that comes in shamanism is the understanding of creation existing in all things. And the greatest way to show that love is to love all things.
So it's linked to Christianity or religion, or is one God a universal God? It's not necessarily to do with any specific religion.
So let me give it to you in this sense. Shamanism is not a religion. However, I've studied world religion. When we think about Christianity, such as Jesus and being God and being the embodiment of God to show us the way through love, right? We also have to understand that Moses was a shaman. So Moshe, basically, his real name, Moshe was a part of the Midian tribe. The Midian people were shamans. And so when Zipporah, his wife, whose father was the head Midian king, taught him the shamanic ways, which allowed him to step into humbleness to be a sheep herder and take care of the land, which is the shamanic way. And then he was able to see the burning bush and so forth. He would never be able to see those things if he had not had the instruction from the shamanic tribe. But a lot of people don't know that information. So they associate anything that's outside of religion as evil because they don't know what shamanism is. They think shamanism, they see someone banging a drum and chanting, they think they're talking to the devil. But in fact, what they're doing is celebrating God's creation, the trees, the nature, the sun, the moon, the earth, you, the cells, your children, life.
But talk to me about the path from San Francisco and then actually Hawaii to Hollywood. So how did Hollywood beckon for you?
Hollywood came later. So in my early years, I went to Israel during one of their biggest wars in the 1990s. Then I went to Turkey, dealing with a lot of the great earthquake that took place, and I did a lot of work in Palestine. I did a lot of work. There was a lot of bombs going off and so forth. All this stuff that I was doing, I was supporting women and women's rights and helping women become more empowered, so they're not, being mutilated and going through all these different things. Hollywood celebrities started noticing what I was doing overseas, and so it built them to start following me and then wanting to meet me, and then they invited me to their homes, and that's how it built in Hollywood. And I never lived in Hollywood in my whole life. I've been living in Israel, in Iceland, in London, and all over the place, wherever I'm needed, really. However, Hollywood, I became the Hollywood shaman because of Gwyneth.
Okay, and is it a toxic lifestyle over there, so you understand the need for people to look inside themselves? Or do we all have a little bit of the Hollywood lifestyle now because of social media and the pressures that brings?
I would definitely say Hollywood has a strong inclination towards that toxicity because of the need to constantly meet this kind of idea of being glamorous and showing off, and I have the house, I have the car, I have all these things. When you get rid of those things and you get to the basis of human life, you see what's more important: your family, your kids, your grandparents, spending that quality time with them. And so what I do in Hollywood is help them remember that outside of all the Bentleys and all that nonsense. But do I see the toxicity around the world? Absolutely. I think anytime humanity puts something in front of them and glorifies it, like celebrities and movies and this becomes a problem.
I understand, and I don't want to get too much into your personal life, but you are dating royalty. Very few people can say that. So your girlfriend is a member of the Norwegian royal family.
Yes.
How does that work with your job and with hers and her place in public life?
We're still figuring that out.
Okay, you keep her calm, obviously.
I love her. We love each other. I love her family. And I'm learning so much about the monarchies because she's not just, she's connected to all the royal families. I think it's except for Dutch. But the thing is that they're all her cousins. So it's not just her family, it's the whole family I'm dealing with.
Great client list. You're just going to be busy for the next 20 years, or not long. But moving on to your book, because you're not a firm believer in self-help books. You feel that we shouldn't be looking elsewhere. We should have the answers inside us. You do, however, have a book coming out next month. Why is yours different?
Because spirit hacking is not about self-help. Self-help means that something's broken, something's wrong with you. This is not how we, one of the biggest things I can't stand when people say is that you need to love yourself. The most important thing is that spirit hacking is about helping you navigate what's happening right now on the planet globally.
The book is out next month?
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to read it. The best of luck this weekend. I know you're going to be very busy, and a lot of people will be very interested to see what you have to say. We could sit here talking all day. Can I just say, I've never had a hug like this man has just given me a hug. You don't shake hands, do you?
No.
Only hug.
Only
Well,
hugs.
we'll have a goodbye hug in a minute. Thank you very much, Shaman Durek. Lovely chatting to you. Coming up after the break, we're going to have more fashion on the catwalk. See you soon.